What's up, guys? It's Mr. Fit to Flourish. So I usually do my 10K steps when I'm doing a video on like manifestation or like your mindset, stuff like that. But I wanted to share today a couple key concepts. We'll say 5 key concepts that took me and got me up $36,000 in 4 weeks. Okay, so as you know, I trade options. I only go long calls and long puts. Okay, I go long calls, I go long puts. I don't do any of the complex strategies. I don't sell covered calls. I also do not have a long-term portfolio anymore. I don't do that. I will be getting into. I will be creating a new long-term portfolio, and I'll be updating everyone on that pretty soon. But right now, my focus is on becoming the best options trader of all time. Now, how do you do that? Well, one thing that got me to have these pretty big weeks. So this year, I've had some pretty big weeks. I've had $10,000 weeks. I've had a $20,000 week. And then most recently, the past 4 weeks, I've had a $36,000 in 4 weeks. Okay, so what's taking me to get these pretty consistent gains? I had one red day in the past 6 weeks. Well, one thing I do is I limit the amount of times I am trading every day, and I'm day trading. Okay, I'm day trading. I'm also swing trading though too now, because in my Discord we had a lot of people who are working, who are requesting that we do. Oh, the light is hitting. The light is hitting. All right, but there's a lot of people who are requesting that we do swing trades. So I like to day trade quite a bit, but hey, you want to set up, I got you. So I've been doing swing trades as well. But pretty much when I'm day trading, what am I doing to not have a red day? Well, the number one thing I'm telling you right now is limit yourself to 2 to 3 trades. Why? I'm gonna answer this question for every retail trader who is a big dummy like I was. Because most retail traders right now, you guys are big dummies. You're big dummies, and that's why you keep losing. Because I was a big dummy too. All right? There are not more than 2 to 3 good setups on a stock for options in a day. There are not. I guarantee you. Because there's usually 1 to 2 reversals maximum in a day. 1 to 2 major reversals maximum in a day. We know that there's a 10 a.m. reversal Eastern Standard Time and an 11 a.m. reversal Eastern Standard Time. And then you have like the from 3 to 4 p.m. We have power hour. Okay, so off rip, those are 3 major times. Other than that, you may get a random like big move here or there on a random day, but those are the big major times. Those are 2 to 3 times where something may happen on a day-to-day basis. I want you to go and study the charts, and you tell me, oh, there are more than 3 really, really good setups. No, there's not. A+ setups? No, there's not. And the reason that you keep losing is because you're over trading. You're waking up and you're saying, oh, I gotta trade. 9:30 a.m. hits, market opens, Eastern Standard Time. You jump on the charts and you just hit buy, sell on something random. There's no setups at 9:30 a.m. unless you're at a key level. Okay? There's no setups. And for most retail traders, you guys need to wait for setups. We need to wait for a setup. Okay? So the first thing I did was reduce how many times I'm trading to 2 to 3 times a day, because then that forces me to be a lot more picky about the trades that I'm taking. It forces me to be a lot more picky. And not only am I picky, but I'm not over trading. So once I take the trade, I'm like, all right, I know that this is probably, I wait, and I know that this is probably the best setup on the day. This is probably the absolute best setup on the day. I take the trade, it's usually a W. But guess what? If I take the trade and it's an L, then I know, okay, well, let me go back and look at the chart and see, did I wait for a setup? Probably not. So then I'll take my second trade. And that second trade will be after waiting for a better setup. And then the third trade will just be usually just an additional trade after being a little bit more patient and waiting for another really good setup. But literally just 2 to 3 trades a day. Another thing that really helped me in terms of staying profitable or getting that much profit is I'm not looking for home runs, all right? I'm looking to get on base. What do I mean by that? So that's a baseball reference. I'm not just trying to swing for the fence every single time. Because sometimes when you're just trying to knock the ball out the park, you're going to miss a lot more. You're going to miss a lot more trades. So what I'm doing is I have a daily goal. My daily goal is $500 a day. Why is it $500 a day? Because that is 6 figures every year. Okay, that's about $120,000 a year. Okay, and when you're trading, you don't need to be desperate. The more desperate you are, the more you're going to lose. A lot of retail traders are people who are sick of their 9 to 5, and they're trying to desperately get out of their jobs. Okay, that's the quick path to destruction. So again, 2 to 3 trades, and then have a goal. What is your goal? Because a lot of people don't have a goal. They don't even know what they're trying to do. They're just like, I'm trying to make $1 million bajillion dollars. By when? How are you going to get there? So it's okay. Have a goal of, I'm going to make $1 million this year. Well, what kind of trades are you going to need daily, consistently, to get there? Okay. Like I said, my goal is just $500 a day. And guess what? That allows me to just kind of relax, because that's kind of easy to get 500. It's kind of easy. So what are we doing? I'm relaxing, and I'm looking for quality setups. So that takes me to part number 3. What are we doing? We're looking for quality setups. Okay? Looking for quality setups. So the more you focus on the charts, the easier it's going to be to find a good setup. And the easier it's going to be intrinsically to make more money, because good setups yield more money. That's how trading works. It's not about like, oh, who's making the most money? This guy made $1 million. Oh, he's flexing his Lambo on YouTube, his rented Lambo. Like, stop it right now. It's not about that. That, like, a lot of those, it pisses me off. Anyways, a lot of those traders never talk about setups. They don't talk about anything. But then people are convinced and they join these trash discords. But go ahead and do your thing. Because I don't care about Discord. But it's pretty sad. We got to talk about the setups. And they'll be like, oh, you wait for the setup. I'm going to tell you what the setup is. A 920 crossover. Look up EMAs, exponential moving averages. Put a 9 MA, a 9 moving average on your chart. Put a 20 MA moving average on your chart, okay? But make sure it's the exponential, EMA. When you see those cross over, go long if the 9 is crossing above the 20. Go short if the 9 is crossing below the 20. That's one setup. We got crazy setups. I have a video on setups. Make sure to check that out. But you need a really good setup, okay? And you got to be patient, and you got to wait for that setup. What was I doing? There was a couple of setups I was waiting for. I was waiting for neckline breaks. So head and shoulder neckline breaks, cup and handle neckline breaks, double top neckline breaks. So pretty much just breakouts, really. Waiting for those breakouts. What else was I looking for? I was looking for market structure shifts intraday. So like 920 crossovers. So I'm telling you these setups because I'm telling you I actually trade. Okay, I'm not going to be one of those people who's like, I'm never going to show my cars, never going to show like my houses and stuff. I'm never going to show like my gains. That stuff doesn't matter. This is about trading. It's not about like, oh, who's making the most money. All right. This is about being fit spiritually, physically, financially. It's not about flexing material items. Okay. I don't see anybody flexing their bodies. Okay, because nobody's in shape. That shit is disgusting. Anyways, it's yeah, have a setup, okay? So besides having a setup, what else am I doing that is allowing me to get these consistent gains on a day-to-day basis? Well, I'm putting in more time on the charts than anybody that I know. And that's one thing that a lot of people will tell me is like, dang man, like I don't know why, like I keep losing. I'm gonna tell you right now, probably one of the top 2 reasons is you're waking up and you're just trading. Like you're going playing video games, you're going to watch Netflix, you're hanging out with your friends, you're going to the bar, you're probably in school, or you're probably doing a 9 to 5, and then you just wake up in the morning and expect to put on a trade. Do you know what's going on right now, like on the charts? Do you know what happened yesterday? Do you know what levels we're at? Do you know what's going on in the market? Did you do research? So you're probably just not putting in enough time into trading, into the charts. I know for a fact, I put in more time on the charts than like probably 98% of anybody in the world. I'm literally always on the chart. If I'm at work, I work in the pharmacy, I'm probably looking at the charts on my phone too. If I'm like driving, charts, looking at the chart. When I get home, I'm charting. I'm taking notes. I have a document that's probably 50 pages long on every setup, every chart from every single day. So are you putting in that time, and are you willing to put in that time? Because if you're not, then and if you don't like it, trading is probably not for you. And I know there's going to be those people out there who's like, oh, you don't need that. But you're probably someone, like you're probably an older person who's been trading using level 2 or just key levels. You're probably an older person who's like seasoned or whatever. You that's fine. You can say, oh, charts don't work, fundamentals. There's a ton of different strategies that work. But I'm saying for the modern age of traders, and how people use technical analysis, it works. Technical analysis works. I can literally show you I can show you live. It works. But yeah, I'm getting my 10K steps in for real. Oh man. But yeah, technical analysis works. Okay. So put in time on the charts. What does LeBron James do? He puts time in the gym. What did Kobe do? I always tell the story of how Kobe would wake up and he would practice 2 hours before practice. So he would wake up and practice 2 hours before actual NBA practice. What does that tell you? He was dedicated. And he was dedicated to the craft. And why do you think he's one of the best of all time? He's probably putting in more time than all the other people. So as long as you're putting in the time and you're putting in more time than 99% of people, you're going to be better than 99% of people. That's just how it works. So you put in more time than 99% of people, you're going to be better than 99% of people. It's just how it works. Okay, so you're probably just not putting in the time. And then the last thing that I want to talk about, which is probably the most important thing, is when we're trading options, you need to understand options are wasting assets. What does that mean? That means that the longer you hold it, it's intrinsically going to lose value. It's not like a stock that, like, oh, if nothing happens, it stays the same price. Or it's not like futures. No. So there's time decay on options. A lot of people don't understand that. I'm like, why are you trying to trade options and you're getting mad that you're losing? You're probably holding it too long, number one. Yeah, anyways. So options are wasting assets, okay? So this last thing that you need to understand is when you trade, your mindset, this is going to change everything. Okay, so if you got this far in the video, we're 14 minutes in, okay? This will change your trading right now. You need to have the mindset that what you put in, you are willing to let that go to zero. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. You need to have the mindset that whatever you put in, you're willing to let it go to zero. Okay? What do I mean by that? Hey, Fit, like, what do you mean by you're willing to let it go to zero? Like I said, options are wasting assets. So sometimes, especially if you're day trading or trading 0 day to expiration options, you might get in and the setup might be nice, okay? It might be nice or it might be really bad, but The setup might be nice, but you need to understand that there's no guarantee that it's going to go in your favor. So you might put in like $7,000, and then after 10 seconds, it goes down to 1,000. You just lost 6K in like 10 seconds. And you need to understand that that's a very likely possibility. And I know there's a lot of longs from SMCI last week. SMCI was a stock that went from $470 to $390 in 7 minutes. So if you were someone who was holding calls and you had, say, $10,000 worth of calls, it went to $0 and 1 penny. $0 and 1 cent, okay? So you need to understand that what you put in, there's a possibility that it can go to zero, and you need to accept that possibility. And if you're like, oh no, I'm gonna put in 20K, I'm gonna ask you, are you okay if I just took that 20K from you? And your answer is probably gonna be, oh shit, hell no, I would beat your ass. And I would say, exactly, then don't put it in. Don't put it into an options trade. You might want to put it into a stock where it will never decrease that much unless it's SMCI. But you need to understand, whatever you put in, accept the risk that it can go to zero. And this transformed my trading. Why? Because now I'm like, okay, I want to put in like 20K because I want to make like, or I want to put like 30K in because I want to make like 100K on this trade, right? Or I'm like, I want to put 30K in because I always make 50%. I want to make 15K like in 5 minutes right now, okay? So I might be thinking that. I think that sometimes. I'm like, let me just put like 50K in, or let me just put my 100K, like let me just put my whole account in. Like, I think that sometimes. But then I understand that I'm trading options. And whatever I put in, I need to be willing to accept total loss. Total loss. Okay? Am I willing to go down 100K in 5 minutes? No. So ask yourself, before you put it in, pause. All right. Before you put in that 10K, that 9K, maybe for you, it's like you have $1,000 account. Before you put in all that $1,000 as a retail trader, ask yourself, am I willing to let this go to zero? And if the answer is no, then your size is too big. Pause again. Egregious pause. Anyways, are you willing to let that go to zero? So that transformed my trading, because now I'm like, all right, well, let's say I have a 100K account. If I put in 20K, I'd go down 20%. Like, do I want to do that? No. Okay? No, I don't want to do that. So what I've done is I've reduced my trade size so much to now I'm only going to trade with $500 to $1,200, sometimes $2,000 now, because I'm okay with, if I go down $2,000, is it going to like kill me? No. Or if I put in $500, is that going to kill me? Not really. And if you have a $1,000 account, maybe trade with $100 per play until you start building up your account. Okay? Because now you put in $100, you're like, I went down $100 today. Like, who cares? But if you put in that $100 and it goes up 100, well, now we're talking, you're up 10% on your account. That's amazing. And by decreasing your port size, how much you're putting in, you're able to breathe. You're able to relax. Okay, I'm able to relax now. Like, now I'm like, if that goes to zero, I don't care. So it lets me focus on the charts, as opposed to when we're trying to put in like 50K, we're not even looking at the chart. We're looking at the dollar amount. We're like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going to press the button. I can't believe I'm going to press buy. And you're not even looking at the chart. So that's why I highly recommend this last part. Watch this video, the last part of this video right now. Decrease your port size. I promise you, everything in trading changes. I promise. I don't care if you're using ICT, ABC, Albrooks, SMC, Smart Money Concepts, if you breaker blocks, silver bullet. I don't care. Supply and demand strategy. I do not care what strategy you're using. Fundamentals, whatever. Everything works. You need to understand that. Every strategy works. You're just not putting enough time on the charts to test them, back test them on where or what stocks they work on. That's why you're losing. So put in the time, but you need to understand, decrease your port size right now, especially if you're a retail trader. Decrease your port size and build your confidence. Your confidence is the most important thing when it comes to trading. You're not confident because you keep losing, because you keep fucking putting in too much money. So as soon as you decrease your port size, you're relaxed. You're able to focus on the charts, look for quality setups as opposed to looking at the money you're putting in. And then I promise you, you're going to start to win back to back to back to back to back to back. And you're going to realize, oh, I wasn't paying attention to this setup when this setup presented itself. Why? Because I was so focused on the money. So now that you're focused on, the setup, your confidence is going to build, your account is going to build, and you're going to just intrinsically have a bigger account, and you're able to put more money in. And you'll be confident putting that money in now. Okay? And that's really what happened with me. I decreased my port size. I always talk about it. I had a 7K loss in the beginning of the year. And I was like, oh no, I'm not going to let that happen again. Because I was trading with like 10K ports, and I don't want to go down 10K. But I mean, now I know, okay, I've read a lot of books, done a lot of studying, had mentors. Don't put in what you're not willing to go to zero. Okay, I had a 7K loss, I had a 3K loss, and then a 2K loss. I was like, yo, I can't be having these Ks at the end of my losses. Okay. And I realized the reason was because I was putting in more than I was comfortable losing. And when you're trading options, you need to be willing to let it go to zero. So it's Mr. Fit to Flourish. Hopefully these couple things helped you. I feel like people don't talk about any of this, and that's why every retail trader is still losing, because they're telling you, oh, like I have the secret strategy, join my Discord, and you get destroyed. So just saying, if you're an aspiring trader, you're gonna have to put in the time, you're gonna have to be patient, you're gonna have to do these things. I wish you the best.